The Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. Hi, I'm Kayden Gordon. Thank you so much for joining us today on this wonderful show. My name is Kayden Gordon, and if you're new listening, maybe you heard from me from the wonderful articles coming out from John Krondes and his team. Welcome to my show. Thank you so much for checking us out. We got some great country music, and we got a lot of mixed country music. We love hearing all the types of country that can be blended together. So, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to even, be here with us. It is greatly appreciated. And you want to know something else, too? I appreciate you guys all for listening. We're climbing up, and we're getting all those stations together. And we're going to have Mark Edward Willows and Lauren Glick joining us in a bit. So, we're super excited for that. And everything's going really good here. Little bit of an update for you guys, because I don't really talk much about myself. Definitely excited for next year. I'm hoping to be able to go to Nashville, Tennessee, so that's exciting. And that's just one of the biggest updates I have. And so yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. I get to hopefully meet bunch of my artists. Obviously, as you guys know, I met producer John many, many times, but I've never met anybody. Actually, I lied. Okay, I have met Ian Gallipo. I have met Captain C, who I've interviewed. I have met some artists that I've interviewed. I'm not gonna lie. I have met Ayla. Have met Cruiser once, and that's it. Met Cruiser once, and that was when everything was going on crazy, because I would like to see her without her mask on, guys, you know? So that's just that going on, and I'm just super excited to see everybody down in Nashville. Hopefully I get to meet my good friend Anne-Marie Percerno. I get to meet the legendary Bob McGilpin, and just, there's so much to it. I'm so excited. It's just a wonderful graduation gift I got going on, guys. It's awesome. Well, we're going to do the Country Minute right now, where we cover the best country music news in just under 1 minute. So let's get started, shall we? Let's do it. Hold on 1 second. Pull up the news. We're pulling up the news for the Country Minute. Dolly Parton fans react to the icon's message of love. Kane Brown asked a fan who should tour with him, and they don't disappoint. Maren Morris protects a friend from concert security. Luke Bryan's latest jab at Blake Shelton was at the stage in Vegas. And lastly, Garth Brooks challenges fans to a simple experiment. That's your Country Minute right here on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. We're going to get back into the country music you know and love.
The Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix starts right now.
You'll find a pot of gold at the end of a story. You'll find it's all been told, but our love has a treasure our hearts can always spend, and it has a story without any the water stops its flow at the end of a highway. There's no place you can go, but just tell me you love me, and you are only mine, and our love will go on till the end. but just tell me you love me, and you are only mine, and our love will go on till the end of time, till the end of time, till the end of
Rolling 95, burning down 129, yeah. Looking for the law while I push my luck. You shoot out a shotgun like it ain't no thing. Turn the radio off so the girl can sing right. Pulling to the party like y'all, what's up? Tonight is bottoms up. Throw it on down, rock this quiet little country town. Get up, drop the tailgate on your truck. Find a keg and fill your cup. Oh, kick it on back. Pretty little mama looking at you like that. Make you wanna slide on in like, girl, what's up? It's tonight is bottoms up. Get 'em up. Tonight is bottoms up. Get 'em up. Damn. Girl, I gotta tip my hat and never thought a country song make you move like that, yeah. And she's doing it in Daisy Dukes, girl. She got you tapping on the boy show. Hey, dog, check this out, man. The Southern girls do it in the dirty South, yeah. She have you on a knee, can I marry you? Hey, tonight is bottoms up. Throw it on down, rock this quiet little country town and get up. Drop a tailgate on your truck. Find a keg and fill your cup. Oh, kick it on back. Pretty little mama looking at you like that. Make you wanna slide on in like, girl, what's up? Tonight is bottoms up. Get 'em up. Tonight is bottoms up. Get 'em up. Get 'em up. Get 'em up. Good times. Oh, y'all get your drinks up high. Everybody feeling alright. Damn right. 'Cause tonight is bottoms up. Throw it on down. Rock this quiet little country town and get up. Drop a tailgate on your truck. Find a keg and fill your cup. Oh, kick it on back. Pretty little mama looking at you like that. Make you wanna slide on in like, girl, what's up? Tonight is bottoms up. Throw it on down. Rock this quiet little country town and get up. Drop a tailgate on your truck. Find a keg and fill your cup. Oh, kick it on back. Pretty little mama looking at you like that. Make you wanna slide on in like, girl, what's up? It's tonight is bottoms up. Get 'em up. Tonight is bottoms up. Get 'em up.
That was some Brantley Gilbert right here on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. We are going to continue with a new one by Lauren Glick right after this interview with Mark Edward Willows. Night Out by Bob McGiplin and Anna Marie Persernos coming up next, and more non-stop country music's coming your way on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. Hello and welcome to the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, and we have a very special guest joining me here, Mark Edward Willows. Mark, how are you?
Hey, Kayden, how are you? It is definitely a pleasure to be here with you.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Now, Mark, you've done a lot of things in your career. Since you were 3 years old, you've done all different things. You wrote a book recently and all that. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about you and how you got your start?
Oh, goodness. 3 years old. That wasn't exactly yesterday. But anyway, long story short, I started in TV commercials.
Mm-hmm.
People always used to tell my mom, you know, your kid is cheery and bright and talkative and all of that stuff. And somebody one day in a park of all places said to her, he would probably be good in TV commercials or what. So she took a snapshot, you know,
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, Kayden, when you actually took a snapshot and all, had it developed at the drugstore, and we looked up some agents. And at the time I was living in the Chicago area, and we took a photo down to see an agent there. And before you know it, she sized me up in the stroller from head to toe, and I was booked for a McDonald's commercial. And that is how it all began. And then when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, I was doing cereal commercials. They flew me out to Los Angeles. I worked at Paramount Studios. And, I just sort of fell in love with this business. But one thing that I do want to point out, I got my education. I have a college degree. I actually used to teach for a while, and I thoroughly believe in that. But yet in the back of my mind, the love is for this industry. And you know what? You name it. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've done radio, television. I was in a movie. I've done 2 soap operas. I've written scripts. I've written the book. You name it, I have done it. And you know what? I'm still standing and proud to talk about it.
That is fantastic. So why don't you tell us a little bit more specifically what you've been in for TV shows? Where have you done radio?
Back in the 80s, I had a role on Days of Our Lives, which is the NBC soap opera. I played a bartender on that show. And I got to work with veteran performers like Deidre Hall and Gloria Loring and Leanne Hunley. And I also found out that I was on the same soundstage where Bewitched was shot. So I was actually in Samantha's living room, I tell everybody.
Wow.
And that was at the Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood. And I met the Golden Girls. That show shot next door. So, that's some. And then locally in the Chicago area, I worked for NBC. I worked for Fox TV. I was a reporter. I was on the radio out here. I actually worked with Danny Bonaducci from the Partridge Family. I was Danny's entertainment reporter, and I had to get up 3:30 every morning to go there and be with him. But it was a blast. So that's just some of the stuff. And today I did the book. I still have a podcast. And also locally in my area, I do a radio segment, which is called Hollywood Snippets. And if anyone goes to my website, which is Mark Edward Willows with 1 L, it is public. I always put the link up there and you can listen to it.
That is fantastic. And I also see here that you've gotten a chance to interview many people like Jay Leno, Kelly Ripa, and Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, yes. Oprah Winfrey. Back in the day, I used to have a little talk show.
Okay.
And only the Chicagoland area knew of Oprah. And Oprah came down to do my show. And I always remember I asked her, where's her future going? And I always remember her response. She says, well, they hired this little African-American woman out of Baltimore, Maryland. And she says, probably give the show 6 months. Well, we all know what happened. So that is it. But yes, that was a highlight. And oh my God, I have interviewed stars. I mean, countless, from Oprah to Jay Leno to Kelly Ripa to and of course with the podcast, one of my highlights, Marion Ross from Happy Days, Donnie Most from Happy Days, Kathy Garver from the old show Family Affair. So yeah, I've just, you name the star, I've interviewed them.
Wow, that's crazy that you've interviewed so many people. In total, how many people would you say that you've interviewed?
If I had to guess, major stars, probably over 300. And people that are just in the industry or whatever, maybe close to 1,000. And also proud to say, I interviewed, they actually did my show. I had O.J. Simpson's detectives on my show.
Oh, that is just fantastic.
Yeah, so it was a variety of all kind of people. And of course, my fondness is, as you know, the book, which is doing real well. I'm doing book signings, library readings. The book is called Silas and Sophie. I wrote it with a gentleman by the name of Travis Joseph Ziegler. He was a friend of mine, still is a friend of mine, and he always wanted to be in the entertainment industry. That's a goal of his too. So we did the book. Here's a little bio of both of us if anyone wants to read. But anyway, I brought him into this project, and I thought, making him an author would be absolutely great. And one of the things Kate and I love to do, because God knows I've had it, I enjoy helping people in the industry, especially younger people. As you know, that's very important. I love to give advice. They could take it or throw it away, whatever they want to do with it. Some throw it away. But you know what? I'm always very honest about everything, and I just like to help people in the business.
Likewise. I think, for me being so young and everything too, learning the industry for the past 3 years, I've done this. It's just been incredible. And everyone's like, you have a bright future, and I'm like, I agree, and I've gotten so many advice and all that.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And, doing this, I hate to say, but 53 years.
Yeah, you've done it longer than I have, that's for sure. But
yes,
you started at 3.
Yes, I started at 3. But anyway, it is very true. I mean, I have gotten advice from major stars in Hollywood. I've had people take me under their wing. I mean, back in the day, I was at Paramount Studios, and we ran into Lucille Ball, and I was with my dad, and she looked at me and she said to my dad, this kid is going to go places. I always remember that. So I was told that by Lucille Ball. But yeah, I mean, it's very true. Advice, and as you know, starting, you keep going, you be persistent, you do whatever. You never take no for an answer. And one of the things that I really love is Rue McClanahan from the Golden Girls. She played Blanche. She won her Emmy Award. And I always remember what she said. For those of you that shot me down and told me I'm no good, whatever, she said, and you know who you are, and you will be in the book. And I always remember that. And it's true. You never take no for an answer. It's a business that you just keep going.
I agree, and you are going to get no's from people too.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, my God, Kayden, if I were to tell you, long story short, I'm going to make this as short as possible.
There you go.
I mean, I always wanted to be a TV reporter years ago, and I went to this station in Boston. And
really?
The guy was real nice when I saw him and everything. Oh, my God. A week later, I get a letter in the mail, back when they used to mail letters. Shot me down from A to Z. Like, why did you even come here? Waste my time. You have no experience, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I was literally in tears. Well, anyway, guess what? Today, he's flipping pizzas in San Francisco. So that's my point. You never take no. You keep going, and you keep going at it. And, I'm a kid that was raised on the south side of Chicago, recently had a reunion, grammar school. My classmates cannot believe what I've done, where I've been. And they're all like, how? I says, you know what? Will and determination. That's exactly what it takes. So, like I say, yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. And also I want to say about the book, Silas and Sophie, it is about a little country boy and the love of his dog. So it is a very heartwarming book. And one of the reasons, Kayden, also why I have written this book is I want to bring literacy back to children. Do you know, believe it or not, little kids have no idea today what a book is. They don't. Now, when I was a kid, a book was a very special prized possession. You went to bed with it. It was your property. Mom and dad read to you. So that is kind of what I want to bring back today and introduce books back to little children.
No, I agree. In this day and age, it's like everything's so digitalized and everything's all about video games or this video game or that video game. I think a lot of kids, you're going to tell them in 20 years, hey, what's a book? You want to read a book? They're going to be like, I'm sorry. Like, they're going to be so lost, and it's, like, sad to think about because, as we're growing up, it's, like, that was, like, the main thing. Your mom and your dad would read to you at night a story every single night.
Yes, and, Kayden, when I was growing up, it was books and board games. We sat at the table. We played. We laughed. We had the popcorn. We had everything. The kids today don't do this. And don't get me wrong. I love technology. If not for technology, you and I would not be talking. Right. I love it. But, these kids are this is all you see. And they are just enthralled in their world. They don't know that there is a world out there. And, we used to play summertime sprinklers running under it. Kids don't do that today. It's nothing. I mean, they're sitting on a back deck and they're on a laptop. It's like 90 degrees outside. Go under a sprinkler. But yeah, it is a little bit different world today.
Absolutely. And I think that I had a chance to kind of read a little bit of what you've done and, kind of look a little bit at what the book was about. And I think, remembering that as a country boy and his dog going out and playing with the animals. It's just simple.
Exactly. Like I said, we've played with the animals. We waited for the ice cream
Mm-hmm.
truck. We ran under a sprinkler. We were out. Now, I know times are a little
Yep.
different, but believe it or not, we used to play in the park till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And there were no cell phones.
Nope.
And yet mom knew where we were and we knew where she went and everything was fine. But like I said, yes, it was a different world. And again, I do love technology. God knows I use it every day. I live with it. But like I said, you do need to a little bit put that down, go out and enjoy the world. I mean, when we were growing up, we went out for an ice cream cone. Oh, bike riding. That's another kind of a lost art. We hopped on a bike. We went. It was fun. So I'm hoping that this book brings back a little of this because, one of the things, Kayden, we do miss in today's world is family time. It just isn't there.
I agree. And I agree with you also when you say that technology is important because our jobs kind of resistant technology, but knowing when to put the technology away is very, very important for your physical health and your mental health.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I had a friend that was on vacation and they took no phone or nothing. They says that was the best week of their life. See, because it is true. And, today we text, we message, I mean, literally crazy stuff. I mean, I will have friends that come over, they just leave the home and they text me, we're at the stop sign. I'm like, what's the point to this? But see, that's how the world today works. And like I said, again, when I was growing up, I went to grammar school. I would stop at the local drugstore, put a dime in the phone. I remember dialing my mother at noontime. And you know what? She knew where I was and I knew where she was. And that's it. Yeah, but it is a different world today. But anyway, being in this business, I do love it. All I accomplished. One of the things I do want to add, I go to the Emmy Awards in Los Angeles, especially the daytime Emmy Awards. And one of my highlights for me was being with Betty White. And I've met her on the set of Golden Girls, and I came up to her and I said to her, hey, do you remember me? And she said to me, do you want a slap in the face? And she was the most wonderful woman. She always played the naive character, but she was just great. And I'm going to show you something here, Kayden.
Sure.
I have this on my desk. This was a gift from the Emmy Awards.
Oh, wow.
This was all on our tables. We had the little Hollywood sign and from Warner Brothers, we all got a Hollywood Studios.
Oh my God.
Camera. Yeah, so I keep that here. And I've been to the awards at the Beverly Hills Hilton. I've been at Warner Brothers. It's just fabulous. It's a magical night. And, I have to pinch myself. This kid from the south side of Chicago, I made it. But yeah, it's a fun business, but you make it with will and determination.
I agree. And that is very good advice for anybody that is trying to, jump into this industry. You got to have the determination. You can't let yourself go too easily.
And the passion and the love. Do you know, Kayden, there is not a day that goes by that I am not asked these questions. Now, I'm going to be producing a Christian film.
Okay.
That's coming up within the next couple months. Yesterday, I was flooded with everyone that wants to get into business. How do I get into this movie? What do I do? Blah, blah, blah. And, I talk to a lot of schools, kids, and I get asked this question, and I tell them, will, determination, passion, and do you not agree that you have to be available when something comes up, and it could come up within 5 minutes? I get this all the time. Mark, there's an audition at 3:00, or I get a phone call. Mark, we're in town from Los Angeles. We're on our way over to your house. So, sometimes you do have to cancel your plans, whatever, but it's very important because it is considered a part of your work. And that's the way it works. Somebody, Kayden famous, is coming into town. Maybe some executive, a CEO of a studio. Do you really want to miss them to go out and have a Coke or have a dinner or go to a ball game? Think about it. I mean, this is exactly it. And I'm sure you will agree. I'm right. I mean, that's the way it has to go. I had this one friend who I sort of mentored in the business many years ago. And he wanted to get in, and he was dating, and he had a girl and all. And you know how it is when you date. No offense, you're young, here today and gone tomorrow. But anyway, I called him on a phone, and I told him, you have this audition, whatever. He's like, oh, I'm with this girl and she means a lot to me. And I'm like, excuse me, you've only met her a week. You don't even know her. Nothing. And Kayden, he gave up the opportunity for a Class 8 network commercial that he was to audition for. And you know what the agent says? Goodbye.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't have time to waste. Like, they're busy.
No,
That's why.
Absolutely. It is a business and it moves fast. I mean, you can have an audition and boom, it needs to be in by 6 o'clock, whatever. That is how the industry works. But all in all, and you being in it, I'm sure you would agree. Is it not a lot of fun? I tell everyone it's like a drug to me. So, yeah, I mean, it's fun how you do all of this. And isn't it even you interview people? Don't you find this very exciting?
Absolutely. Hearing their stories, hearing everything. It's just great.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? With all the interviews I do, I always say, everyone has a story to tell. And you know what? You could ask Kayden one question and you're going to get a million different answers to that same question. Yeah. I mean, I could ask, how did you get into this business? And I will hear, well, my dad was a studio executive. Or the next one will say, well, I worked for $1 an hour. So, yeah, I mean, it's a variety of everything. And I sort of got into this business, it's very funny. I mean, advancing into Los Angeles and all.
Right.
When I was college age, I kind of did not like school. I mean, it was kind of a nightmare for my mom and dad to get me to go to high school. And this one day, my friends were all registering for college and they asked me to come along. So I did. And they went and registered and I'm sitting and I picked up the school catalog and I came across Journalism 101. And I love the way they had it written. Be the next Barbara Walters. And I'm reading and I'm like, wow, this is interesting. And the rest is history. And I got a college degree and everything. And, believe it or not, I had the chance to meet Barbara Walters and I told her this story. And she was laughing hysterically. But yeah, and that's how it started. And it just proceeded on to Los Angeles and one thing spiraled after another. And then also I own a company today. I have a public relations firm. Yeah, I have a public relations firm. I do press for a lot of stars. I'm responsible for doing bios. I'm responsible for getting their faces on the covers of magazines. And that is also a challenge, and I like it.
Bet.
And and another thing too, I'm always doing everything. People say why. I love to do it.
Well, that's why. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm opening a firm in the Chicagoland area, and I may expand that I'm going to be an agent and I will be getting jobs for people in TV commercials because I do so much of this and I've got so much knowledge. I've been doing this all my life. I know how to do it. I know what casting directors look for. I know all the union rules, everything. So I'm going to have people come to me, it's resume and bio. As you know, those are the tools of the trade. And I'm going to try to submit them to different companies so that they could get a job in commercials and have the fun that I had doing this.
I think that's just great. I think, giving people that opportunity is so important.
Oh, it is. I've had people do it for me. One of the people that I would like to mention, and of course they both are gone today, but it is the Bell family who own The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful. I have been friends with that family for 35 years, and that's Bill and Lee. They were the nicest people who helped and gave advice. Lee was like my second mom. We would talk on the phone and she'd be like, Mark, but you know what? I learned a long time ago, when somebody gives you advice, Kayden, that you trust, you don't shoot them down. You may not like what they say, but you know what? They are telling you the truth. And everything that these people have told me has come out to be all fact, all reality. And you know what? I am just very grateful for that. So, when people give advice, or especially someone a little older, someone younger, don't always say, they're full of you-know-what. No, because you know what? In my case, been there and done that. And I do know, and I understand, and this is something that I like to do. And I always tell people, even if I teach a class, I say, you know what? Follow my advice. I'm not going to guarantee you'll be the next Tom Cruise, but I do guarantee that you may go somewhere in this business. And that's it. And when I find out they did, it gives me just great satisfaction.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So, Mark, where can people find you on social media if they want to keep up with what you're doing?
They can find me on Facebook. I'm very big on Facebook. It is Mark Edward Willows with one L, WILOWS, and my site is my site is public, so not private. It is public, so you can definitely get on there and you can message me or whatever. That is the best way to get a hold of me. And I will mention my podcast, Gabbin Cabin. Mm-hmm. That's the name, and I'm very excited. We just got our official mug.
Oh my goodness.
For the show. So it is Gabbin, Gabbin, Cabin, Cabin, and it is on YouTube. Just type in Mark Edward Willows, Gabbin Cabin, whatever. And we're on all platforms, including iHeart. We're on Spotify, on some we're on video, on some we're on audio, but you can definitely find me. And the book, Silas and Sophie, is available at barnesandnoble.com and amazon.com. It is hard copy, paperback, and it is also in Kindle. And we are going to be touring and doing book signings and readings. I've already got a couple libraries booked. So it's a lot of fun. It's just very exciting.
That is just wonderful. Well, Mark Edward Willows, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the Kayden Gordon Show today's Best Country Mix today. Kayden, we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Pleasure talking to you. And you know what? I could see a bright future for you in this business. I really could. You're a great interviewer, and it's a lot of fun. All I'm going to say, hang in there.
Thank you. Hello and welcome to the Kayden Gordon Show, today's Best Country Mix. And joining me right here today is Lauren Glick. Lauren, how are you?
I'm doing well, Kayden. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So why don't you start by introducing yourself and how you got your start in your wonderful musical journey?
I got my start. My name is Lauren Glick, and I got my start in my musical journey pretty much when I decided in high school that I wanted to go to a music college, and was very fortunate to be able to go to Berklee College of Music in Boston. Met some incredible musicians and was very inspired by the entire time I was there. And then got out of school, graduated with a Bachelor of Music degree. So I'm actually one of the smart musicians, I guess. And then I joined a band back home where I'm from, and just continued from there. Started writing music when I was in college. And so I had a little bit of a later start. But I started writing, pretty much when I was 19, and then just grew that passion.
That's wonderful. So what do you most enjoy about music? Is there a certain element of it that you enjoy most?
Oh, yeah. I enjoy that soulful quality and that a way to express yourself. I mean, that's really what I used. Unfortunately, when I was 19, I lost my mom to suicide, and that was my go-to. Writing music, it kind of was soothing to my soul. So that's what I love about it, and I continue to do it to this day.
So why don't you tell us about any upcoming projects or any upcoming singles you got, Lauren?
Yeah, well, I just released my album June 3rd. The album is entitled Lush. And it's doing really well. Been picked up by many, many radio stations around the United States and beyond. And it's just like a bluesy soul album. So when I first started writing, I really loved Kate Bush and Tori Amos and people like that. And they have this voice with a higher register, and I tried to emulate that because they were my biggest influences. And then I realized the stuff I was playing out live was more like Janis Joplin and Aretha Franklin and some really, really down-home, gutsy, bluesy stuff, and it wasn't matching with what I was writing, so I was never able to play what I wrote, and sing it out because people were like, that doesn't even sound like anything you performed. So now just this year, I started writing more bluesy, and it's really just catching because now I'm able to perform it at shows, and I love it.
That is just fantastic. So if you could do a duet or collaboration with any singer, Lauren, who would you choose and why?
Probably Alicia Keys.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's a new one. That's not one I've heard before.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because she's very soulful.
Mm-hmm.
She's a piano player,
Mm-hmm.
and I am also a piano player, although bass guitar is my first instrument, but I love the piano as well. And she's just got an incredible voice. So if there was anybody that I could probably sing with, it'd be her. Yeah.
Very, very cool. So where do you see your music in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh God, I'm hoping to really take this more to a national level.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always kind of concentrated in my hometown because I
Mm-hmm.
needed to make a living,
Right.
money. And then when we start doing our own original music, it's a little bit harder to make that money.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm at the point where I just would like to spread out to some of the surrounding areas and really get my music heard, more, because it's fine to hear stuff on the radio and it's great, but really where I shine is live. I really do. I love to perform live. Love it. So that's where I see myself heading, more in the performance aspect and continuing to write in that bluesy, soulful genre. I love that too.
That's fantastic. Yeah, for sure. I think live shows are really awesome. Nothing bad with radio airplay because that's what I do and that's what I help people with. But also at the same time, seeing everybody live too is awesome, and helping them find gigs is just great.
Well, it was tough these last couple of years with coronavirus.
Oh, absolutely. That makes a big impact.
Yeah, everything was shutting down, and I was like, if I have to wear a mask to sing, I'm just going to have to say no, because they were at the point where they were making singers wear masks. Well,
yeah.
How can you sing?
How can you right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I did a lot of at-home concerts,
mm-hmm.
and that's where I know this sounds strange, but the whole thing of shutting everything down did not stop me, because I continued to play music and I continued to build an audience that I could through Facebook Live. And now I have some fans from all over, the country, because they were able to tune in with the concerts that I was putting on, and people loved it. I mean, they would sit back and have a drink and listen to me on a Friday night. And that's where I kind of started building my fan base. I mean, so I look at it that it was a negative thing that everything was shutting down, but for me, it was kind of a positive thing.
No, I agree, and that's when I started, going really high too. When I started doing way more interviews, and then after this whole, it's still around, but even though it's starting to slow down, I'm still going and going, because you realize, not a lot of people realize that, for us it was kind of a positive thing, because we all kind of got to work more on our home-based projects.
Yes, I agree, and you could become more creative.
Absolutely, for sure. So do you have any advice to those who might want to start singing or performing, Lauren, that just doesn't really know how to get their foot in the door?
Well, I just say be yourself. Be yourself, and it will happen. Think positive, and just perfect your craft. I mean, your voice is an instrument, and singing is a physical exercise, in my opinion. I actually teach voice lessons, and so that's a very good question. I've heard this question before, and piano lessons. But yeah, your voice is a physical instrument. I mean, a physical. What was I saying? Physical what? You know what I'm saying? It is. It's like a physical sport. And you really need to learn the basics of diaphragmatic breathing and how to sing properly so you can sustain your career. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Absolutely, for sure. So where can people find more information on your vocal/piano lessons if they want to, work with you? Yeah,
my website. And I do video lessons as well.
Okay.
So my website is www.laurensings.com. And that's spelled LAURENSINGS.com. And also you can pick up my CD on Spotify. You can pick it up on Amazon Music. Pretty much all the platforms out there, Pandora, CD Baby, and the list goes on. Or you can get it off my website or at live shows.
Fantastic. So what do you like doing outside of music? Do you have any hobbies?
Hobbies. I am an avid runner, and I love to and I love to do yoga. I actually teach what's called Kundalini yoga, and that's the yoga of the spine. So it's a really neat practice with engaging breath work and moving the spine so you stay young and agile. And they say you're as young as your spine. So I love to do that. And also it incorporates some chanting and mantra. So I am able to sing in class, and chanting is so healing, the healing vibrations from the sound. So that's kind of my hobbies. And of course, being with my children and what else? Eating. I love to eat. I eat all the time. I love to eat.
You can't go wrong with live music and food. That's the best.
That's right. They go together, right?
Oh, it absolutely does. It does, for sure. So do you have a message to those who might be listening, watching this, or any of your fans?
Message? I didn't hear that. What?
No worries. Do you have a message to those who might be listening or watching this, or any of your fans, Lauren?
Oh, yeah. I am so grateful to all my fans. Like I said, I started out pretty much in 12th grade in high school, graduated, went to college, met some incredible musicians, but I've kind of like built my way up the ladder, and I don't take any fan lightly. Like I have obviously a following, but my following, I make sure that I pay attention to each person individually and really engage them in conversation. And just like I said, over coronavirus, when I did these concerts, everybody was like, you were so engaged in all of us. You made us feel like we were part of the family. And that's kind of my thing. So I don't take anything for granted. I love, fans are what makes your music shine. So thank you to all my fans out there. I appreciate it.
So where can people find you on social media if they want to keep up with all your adventures? I know you mentioned your website, but where can people find you on the socials?
So on Facebook, you can just look up Lauren Glick, or also I have my own band page, so it's under the Lauren Glick Band.
Okay.
And also I'm on Instagram, Lauren Glick, and TikTok, Lauren Glick 70. I think I'm Lauren Glick 77. And I also have a wonderful YouTube page that my son actually developed, that I have 3 different videos out now. One of the videos is called Living in Pain, and it's a great song about, it started with the coronavirus, but then kind of spread out about setting a reset button in today's world. And it's very current, and I think people would really love it. And the video is doing phenomenal. And like I said, it was shot on my son's cell phone.
Oh, wow.
And a little cheap camera, and it's amazing. It's on YouTube. Check it out. It's got over 7,000 hits now, and it was just put up 2 weeks ago, so it's kind of going crazy, and I'm really excited about it.
Very, very exciting. Well, congratulations to you for that, Lauren. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. Is there anything else that I forgot that you would like to mention?
Is there anything else that I'm asking my manager over here. Oh yeah. Nancy's saying bring up the fact that I raised 4 kids.
And there you go.
If I were to have 2 lives, I would have definitely been on the road. But I am never going to regret having these 4 beautiful children. And yes, maybe I've started a little bit later in life, but like Nancy's saying, it's never too late.
No. I'm right. Nancy has a good point. She has a good point.
Good job, Nancy. But so what I'm saying is, yes, we'd all love to have 2 lives, and we all think about maybe some regrets, like should I have done this and that, but I don't regret anything. I'm just happy to be able to do what I do, and I love it. And music is timeless. It is.
I agree. Well, Lauren Glick, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's Best Country Mix. We really do appreciate your support, and everyone make sure to go check out Lauren Glick wherever you stream music.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, and I would like to thank all 3 of my guests, Mark, Lauren, and John, for joining us today. We're going to continue right now with some Bob McGilpin and Anne-Marie Paserno. Night out.
by telling the kids how ding dang proud he was of them. The kids telling Dad about the A's and B's. Daddy can't remember what he left behind. The kids took it off with some kind of joke, jumping in the car, laughing in the backseat, and know the night out. It's time to remember, night out. No final destination, night out. It's time to remember, kids are giggling, enjoying the night out. Dad thinks it's funny in the rearview mirror, laughing in the backseat, kids are smiling, singing out loud, passing highway signs, calling out the letters, losing track of time. Cruising on the stars with the music playing, radio's loud and we all are singing. Daddy's playing drums on the steering wheel, rolling down the road to home again, enjoying the night out. It's time to remember, night out. No final destination, night out. It's time to remember, loving our journey, enjoying the night out. Now we're older with kids of our own and family. Daddy's gone, but we travel on with cherished memories, enjoying the night out. It's time to remember, night out. No final destination, night out. It's time to remember, love and family's a real good time. Night out. It's time to remember, night out. No final destination, night out. It's time to remember, love and family's a real good time. Night out. It's time to remember, night out. No final destination, night out. It's time to remember, love and family is a real good time. Night out.
earth is gone. Oh, that song came down. 40 days, 40 nights. Who knows what the thunder and lightning will bring? Maybe the storm will cover my dreams. Maybe the sun will shine no more. Who knows which way the wind is blowing? When we look back on these things, we won't cry no more.
call me a Kentucky Banshee, just a little wild and crazy. That's me, a Kentucky Banshee, just like my daddy, wild and crazy. Wear holes in my jeans, never took that t-shirt in just right. When trouble rolls around, I'll stand my ground and fight. Well, they call me a Kentucky Banshee, just a little wild and crazy. That's me, a Kentucky Banshee, just like my daddy, wild and crazy. Some folks say I'm just like my daddy, tough and strong. Got that Cherokee in me. Love that country music, heart and soul. When I hear that country tune, my blood starts to flow. Well, they call me a Kentucky Banshee, just a little wild and crazy. That's me, a Kentucky Banshee, just like my daddy, wild and crazy. Woo! I'll pick it, boys. Growed up on them hand-me-downs, watch my daddy put them blisters on his hands. So proud to have been born on them old Kentucky grounds. Well, they call me a Kentucky Banshee, just a little wild and crazy. That's me, a Kentucky Banshee, just like my daddy, wild and crazy. Just like my daddy, wild and crazy.
Kentucky Banshee right there on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. Just want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. Would also like to thank John Krondes, Mark Edward Willows, and Lauren Glick for joining us today. And we shall see you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
The Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. Thanks you for listening.